Hello. I wanted to make this quick video on why nonprofits should have a newsletter, specifically an email newsletter, and how they can go about it. What are the things that they can take care of? The reason I wanted to do this is that it is my belief that email is one of the strongest digital marketing channels you can have because it allows you to connect with people personally, and these are the people that you have earned through your consistent engagement with them. They are part of your database, they are already aware of your organization, the cause it is working for, and that initial connect is already there. So it's easy to take them from the stage of someone who has maybe donated only once to a repeat donor. An email newsletter is better than a newsletter like a PDF attachment, because in today's time, with people having such little patience, it's just better if they open up the email and the email directly has all the content that you want to share with your stakeholders. So with the email newsletter, you can inform your stakeholders, specifically your donors, about the progress you're making in the programs, the impact. You can share impact stories. You can talk about statistics that indicate the scale of work that you have delivered, and all the other elements that are important for a donor to know, so that they feel confident about the investment that they have made in your organization. Because though it is a donation, it is kind of an investment, because you are the facilitator here. They are giving the money to you so that you can actually deliver what they hope to see as an outcome of their investment. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the email newsletter. So let me just share my screen and walk you through some of the basics that I wanted to talk about. So here's a mind map that I have prepared for this. So as I just explained, that a newsletter is an excellent way for you to connect with your donors and other stakeholders, as a result of which you do get the mind share. You get the branding, that there is a positive perception about your brand, about your organization's name, the work it does. It creates that positive sentiment. And whenever people are talking about a cause of your domain, that are talking about the kind of work that you are doing, you have that mind share. You are on top of mind because you have that consistent engagement going with them. You're constantly informing them about the work you're doing. This also leads to donations, because in each of your newsletters you can just include a strip which allows people to donate. And as they check and as they see the information that you have shared in your newsletter, the kind of work you're doing, and also where you are also highlighting the gaps in funding and the need areas, people are more encouraged to donate, right? And just having an option that allows them to donate through the newsletter opens that window for them to do it immediately. It also reduces the pressure on outbound fundraising for your team, because this is an inbound fundraising method, a very high value method, because people already have that confidence in your organization and they are inclined to donate to your organization again. And then it's a great way to market. People can forward your newsletter to more people that they are connected with, so that they get to know the kind of work you're doing. It builds trust, confidence, and loyalty, because you're constantly staying connected with them and keeping them updated about your programs. So as I said, you can share the proceedings within the organization. So these could be the milestones you've achieved, the program progress you've made, any impact stories that you can share. Impact stories are always a wonderful thing to share, because at the end of it, we are trying to benefit people or animals or living things or the environment or something like that, so which people can personally connect with. So it's a good idea to always include one impact story at the very minimum, and more if you can. And also pictures and videos. You can share links to the various videos you upload on YouTube, giving people the choice to go and see something in a more live format, right? So that's a great way to do it. So what are the elements of a newsletter? What all should you do? At the very top, you should have a consistent branding. So, the name of your organization, the logo of your organization, give a name to your newsletter. This can be like a series which you can constantly use in your newsletters in whatever frequency you decide to send it out, and an issue number, which is good for you to also stay in track, and also for you to kind of tabulate it later, maybe on the website and all of that. What are the other elements of a newsletter that you should consider having? Minimum of one impact story. Program updates definitely should be there. Your recent events, if you can talk about them. Any donor interactions that you've had, this is important because your email newsletter is going to go out to donors. So this is a good way to acknowledge their contributions. And other partner interactions, your partner NGOs, your technical partners, financial partners, strategic partners, all of them, whatever contributions they've made, whatever collaborations you've kind of done, all that can also be part of your newsletter. So if you have hired new people in the leadership position, or you have expanded your team, that is also something that you can mention, which gives people an indication of how well your organization is doing and the programs are doing well, which is why you are expanding your team. Then the volunteer activities, you should give good coverage to that as well. Any sharing from your volunteers or your donors, any testimonials that you could include, any recognition you received. You should also include an appeal to donate. This can be a subtle footer where you just include the donation links and all the other ways in which people can donate. And also an appeal to refer you to more people who need your services. That appeal should also go out. So this is not just about getting donations. The newsletter is not just about getting donations, or it's about more people knowing that as an organization you are there to help a certain section of people or animals or environment related issues, or whatever the case may be. So you should definitely appeal to spread the word. What frequency should you send the newsletter out? Well, it depends. You can try out a monthly newsletter if you have a lot of activities going on in the organization. If you don't have that much, you can go do once in 2 months, or quarterly. Quarterly is the latest you should go. You shouldn't delay more than that, because it's important to keep your donors in the picture. So that they know what's happening in the organization. So that top of mind and mind share thing is an important aspect today, especially because there are so many NGOs out there who are appealing for funds. So if you have a relationship with your donor, you should make sure that you stay connected with them. Tools that you could use, so you can use a generic email account, right? Your Gmail account or your Google email accounts, all of that is there. It's recommended to use the email format of the newsletter rather than the PDF attachment. You can use a generic Gmail account, as I said, or you can use MailChimp. MailChimp allows you to send out 1,200 emails in a month, right? So if you're a small NGO, that would probably suffice for you. If you want to send more emails out to a larger contact database, then you can upgrade your plan. MailChimp and various other email platforms do provide good discounts for non-profits. So you can check that out. So, and at the end, just a few tips so that your newsletter goes out the best it can. Keep the content short and relevant, and include only what is important from a donor's perspective, because the newsletter is largely for the donors. Have a very clear subject line to your email so that people know exactly what the email contains, that it's a newsletter and it's the next series. You can give the month and the year and all of that. Then make sure you're using a responsive template. So if you use something like MailChimp, then that is taken care of by default. But if you're doing something on your own, you need to make sure it is responsive. What I mean by responsive is that your email should be formatted correctly across different screen sizes. So it should be, the layout should be perfect on mobile, desktop, tablet, different screen sizes of mobiles and all of that. Then keep the font between 10 to 12 points. That makes it readable. Don't keep it too small so that people have to zoom in to read. That's a very, very bad user experience. Don't do that. Use white space liberally, because with white space, the content becomes more legible and readable. Keep the colors, the background of your email newsletter soft, but at the same time bright. It shouldn't be dull. And use contrast to drive attention to specific headings and sections. Then include the links to your YouTube videos, any blog posts that you have written, or any special social media posts that you sent out, which you feel should also be shared with through your email newsletter. Then make sure you're tagging the donation links. This is very important. This is so that if you do receive some donation through the email newsletter, if you have tagged the link, you can track the source in your analytics. If you're not tagging the link, if you're just having the donation link without the tags, it is just going to go into direct traffic, and through your analytics you will not be able to see how much of traffic has been generated, or how many donations have come through because of your newsletter. And before you send out the newsletter to all of your database, make sure you send out a test email so that you can check all these aspects, that the logo is all right, the header is good, the footer is good, the layout is all right, there are no spelling mistakes. All of that can be checked. So make sure you do that before you send it out, and make sure you have the receiver's permission before you send it out. That is very important. In fact, on platforms like MailChimp, you have to select this checkbox and state that you have the permission to send out the newsletter. Without that, you really cannot go ahead with your campaign. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about regarding the newsletter. If you have any questions, any doubts, any concerns, please feel free to put them here in the video comments, or whatever social media platform that you see this on, and or the blog post, and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.